Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. This is Rakdos tokens. I've been playing a Jund tokens list a lot recently that uses Writhing Chrysalis and Colony Garden from green, Deadly Disputes, Fanatical Offerings from black, and then a bunch of red cards like Bushwhackers and Rebirths, and Rites of Initiation to win the game. And then I saw Totem Silence on Twitter, I'll link them in the description, had a list that was similar, but it dropped the green so that it had a better mana base and replaced those with more red cards, namely Mog War Marshal, which makes 2 1/1s for 2, plus you have Echo, so it sacrifices and makes another 1/1, which means you could like Deadly Dispute this in your upkeep or something like that in order to still get those 2 1/1s and then also get your Deadly Dispute value. Also running Clockwork Percussionist, because this card is really, really good. And then I was running Galvanic Blasts in my original version. Their version was running Lightning Bolts. I switched them back to Galvanic Blasts. I did make a couple changes that I thought would be better. They were playing, I think, 10 tap lands. That seemed like a lot to me, so I'm running 8. But Galvanic Blasts, I think Kuldotha runs 16 artifacts producers or artifacts. And we have 20 right here, 4 Bridges, 4 Great Furnaces, 4 Clockworks, Chromatic Stars, and Ichor Wellsprings, as well as Deadly Disputes and Fanatical Offerings. So I don't think it's going to be an issue getting to the Galvanic Blast extra buff, and if that is the case, then it's obviously going to be better than a Lightning Bolt. But these were just some changes that I wanted to make. Other than that, we are just making a lot of tokens. Kuldotha Rebirth, Goblin Bushwhacker, of course, is a potent combo, but Rites of Initiation is another way we can dump our entire hand to pump all of our 1/1s. And we can keep our hand stocked with the Deadly Dispute Fanatical Offering package. For our tap lands, we also have Jagged Barrens. We're an aggro deck, and they ping for a little bit of damage. Every single one of our lands taps for red. This is the real benefit of this version of the deck, is that you have your black cards. You only have 8 of them, so it's not a ton. You obviously need to be able to cast them, but everything taps for red, so you're not going to get tripped up on not being able to cast things, because we will often need 1 red for Kuldotha Rebirth, 2 red for Bushwhacker, and maybe even a 4th red for Rites of Initiation if we do that all in the same turn. For our sideboard, I also changed a couple of things, but we have a couple Cast Into the Fires, a couple Gorilla Shamans, Rotten Reunions, which I really like as a way to get some graveyard pieces and then make 2 more tokens at instant speed. It is a lot of black, seeing as a black flashback, so it's possible that this should just be like a Relic of Progenitus or a Nile Spellbomb, but I like the token producers. Some End the Festivities, and then some Red Elemental Blasts. So let's get right into some games. In case you've been tossing and turning at night, wondering how on earth you can give me money, well, I have launched a Patreon account so that you can now support my Black Sack Addiction and my new paper gameplay series, Pauper Airplane. There are a lot of cool perks like knowing what decks I'm currently brewing and testing, being able to submit a deck to see in a future video, and also being able to play Magic with me or even being coached by me. So if you have a couple dollars in your pocket that you know deep down deserve to go to a random Magic player on the internet, go ahead and check out the Patreon. All right, our opener hand looks pretty reasonable. Clockwork, we can go into Kuldotha. We need to find some pump spells, but we also have the mana for everything, so I think we're keeping this one. I think we're going turn 1 Percussionist into turn 2 Rebirth with a bridge, and then next turn we can Fanatical. I think that's what we're doing. Then again, we're against actual mono red, it looks like. So turn 1 Percussionist doesn't do much now because we can't actually attack him for 1. So in that case, I think we'll just get our tap land down, so that it's more of a surprise what we're doing. Yeah, they're going to synth, get a Tomb Raider. No Mountain, looks like. Okay, so they kept a sketchy hand, I would say. They didn't mulligan to 6, but still seems pretty sketchy. Another Percussionist. They're mono red. It's possible that they're running on the Festivities. I know a lot of the stock lists nowadays are running 1 or 2 in the main deck. So Clockwork into Kuldotha might not be great if they just have that. The alternative is double Clockwork or Mog War Marshal. Marshal's not bad, because then I can double block this, and they can't do much about it. But Clockworks also find us our pump spells quicker. I think we're going to, since they mulliganed, I'm going to guess they might not have... They might have an End of Festivities for sure. If they use it, honestly, it's not the end of the world. We'll still have 4 more 1/1s coming down. So I think we just go for it. And if they don't have the way to sweep the board, we have a pretty good board now. So we'll pass. If they wipe the board, either way, we're probably going like double Clockwork. Or actually, I guess we have a Mountain off this. So Clockwork, Mog War Marshal next turn, probably. They have a Kuldotha. Okay. And Galvanic off the top. See if they have a Mountain now. They do. They top decked it. So if I go for a double block, they can Galvanic one of them. I could triple block, but then they just trade this for 3 Goblins, which I don't love. I think maybe we just take 3. Then we're going to take the 2 from the Galvanic as well. Oh, or they're just going to kill off one token. Okay. Respectable. Chromatic Star. I think we'll play this War Marshal. Makes their attacks pretty bad. And then a Percussionist this turn. And then I guess we could attack for a bit if we want. I think it's fine. I think we'll just leave it back. And then on our upkeep, we might Fanatical this. They have a Percussionist of their own. I could also pay the Echo on this. It's not usually something we're going to want to do, but I would like to draw to like a Rites of Initiations. It's probably better to just draw. They have another Kuldotha Rebirth. Okay. Into a Synth. If they swing with this now, I'll block with this guy that's already dying and a Clockwork. Okay, they're swinging with the whole team. We got to make some trades here. I do think because we have Fanaticals and stuff, we are the late game, even though we're obviously still an aggro deck. But I think us just trying to survive is going to probably work out best for us. And this is not too bad. We're losing the Mogwai Marshal anyway, and we get a Clockwork Percussionist trigger here into another one. Is that all 4 of them? Yes, it is. Okay. And another War Marshal. That makes their attacks bad again. I think we'll just do that then. I guess I can attack for 1 here, and then we'll have blockers for these 3. I mean, War Marshal is pretty good against Mono Red. And we're also getting our lands down, so we can finally start Star and Offering. Draw back up, get to our rights. Hit a mountain off of this Synth. Epicure, no swings, okay. Upkeep, I think I'm either paying or I'm going to Fanatical Offering it. I think we'll go for the Offering. So we make a 1/1 and draw 2. Get a food, not a food, a map. Deadly Dispute's pretty good. We're not going to pay this, obviously. Draw for turn, and another War Marshal. Okay. Sure, I guess we'll attack for 2 more. And then play another Marshal. And the next turn just dispute it. And look at this, we're going up in cards again, right? Up to 4. And our board is growing. We're able to chip in for some damage, plus have blockers for all their guys, which is nice. They have a Lackey. Okay, they're going to pass. We will Deadly Dispute this Marshal. There's our Rites of Initiation. So obviously they have enough blockers to make it not great. They have 5 blockers, so we can only get in with 1 of these guys if we play the Clockwork. That's if they block. If they don't block, we can just Rites them and we win pretty handily there. Yeah, I mean, what are the chances? I guess they have a Lackey, so they're definitely blocking with that, and then they're blocking with some others. I think we're going to play a Star here and just pass. Yeah, I think we're just passing. And then we're going to Deadly Dispute the Star, draw a bunch of cards, and try to go for a big turn, big attack next turn, maybe? They pitch a mountain to their blood. If they attack for a bunch, we're going to probably take most of it. All right, they're going to pass. Deadly Dispute this Star. Some lands and a Rites. Another land. So Rites is really big now. Question is, are they going to block? I mean, if they don't block, we get them. And if they do block, we just trade a bunch of stuff. So I think it's kind of fine either way. So let's just attack. If they even let 2, maybe 3 through, we'll get them. Yeah, and they're leaving. Everything else is getting through. So let's Rites of Initiation and discard. I mean, we don't even have to discard our whole hand with... How many of these are getting through? 6? If we discard 2, that's lethal, but if they have a bolt, it's not. So, we'll probably discard like 4. If they don't just concede here. They don't. See, if we discard 4, that means we have enough that they have to have 3 removal spells to be able to not die, right? Because that would still be very lethal. And with only 3 cards in hand and 2 mana, I don't think they could have enough for that. All right, we got there. So Mono Red, we get all the festivities. Cast Another Fires if we want them. I'm not sure if we do. Galvanic Blasts, probably not great. I mean, they're fine. I guess it's our main way to take out a Tomb Raider or a Reckless Lackey, other than just blocking with a bunch of guys. Maybe we don't need all these stars. Stars are just a little slower. And then we can keep in a couple blasts, maybe, but also take in some Cast Another Fires. Take out 2 guys or get artifact land or something. I think this seems fine. We still have a good amount of artifacts and things for Deadly Disputes. We obviously have the Wellsprings and then just a bunch of creatures. So I think this might be all right. All right, this hand, good amount of lands. No End the Festivities or anything. So it might be too slow, but I think we're going to try it. It just looks pretty decent otherwise. Like we have some blockers. I think Bushwhacker's a great blocker. There's an Epicure. They mulligan to 6 again. There's a Galvanic. Let's see. Could just Great Furnace Clockwork, so we have a blocker. And then next turn I hold up Galvanic and I play a Jagged Barons. That's a little better. Otherwise I could just play the Jagged Barons. If they brought in like a Gorilla Shaman and blow up our Great Furnace here, obviously pretty bad. But we'll have to see. Alright, they start with the Synth into a Bolt. They do have the Mountain this time. They bolt us and just pass the turn. Okay, another Bushwhacker. We're going to Jagged Barons. Just leave up this Galvanic and pass. Leave this guy back. We don't have any life gain in the sideboard, so if they do just get kind of a burn-heavy hand, we might die to that. Speaking of, there's a Galvanic Blast. And they're swinging this time. I will oblige. Get my extra card. Oh, they raise the Effigy. Okay. They do have a way to blow this up. At least it's not a Gorilla Shaman. I could use the Galvanic now. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing to kill, and it's only 2 damage, so I think we're just letting that go. I guess I should have tapped it. I guess it wouldn't matter, because by the time damage goes through, the mana would go away. But if I got like a Lightning Bolt, or not a Lightning Bolt, another Galvanic Blast, maybe I would have wanted to use it there, but it's fine. We need an untapped land to cast this. Yeah, we did not get it. That's a little annoying. Okay, well, Jagged Barons and pass. Hold up Galvanic again. They're at 1 card, and we're still at 12, and they're blind. Yep, discarding the Mountain to the Blood Token. So, like, we're in an okay spot. Tomb Raider's fine, because we have the answer for it. So let's just... Oop, not black. Let's just kill that. So they got 1 card in hand. We are tapping out, though. We gotta get this down for our Fanatical. Our Bushwhackers aren't doing anything. Holding up Cast into the Fire when they don't have anything doesn't seem very good. We do get End the Festivities, so if they get, like, just a Kuldotha, will be good for that. If they get Kuldotha Bushwhacker, you know, we still have the answer after the fact. But they do get the Kuldotha. They have a Mountain off top. See how lucky they are. Not quite lucky enough, looks like. All right, Rites of Initiation. So we're going to Fanatical this. Draw 3 means we can probably hit our land drop, ideally. I would like to do that. There it is. And luckily we have this and the Festivities to not die. Triple Bushwhacker. As soon as we find a Kuldotha of our own, we're going to be set. We also have the Rites. So actually, that's probably just lethal, right? Rites, Kuldotha. There's another Bushwhacker. Rites, Bushwhacker, and then, yeah. Well, then again, let's see. What if we just play a Bushwhacker, and then we kick a Bushwhacker? That's 4 damage. They're at 12. And then we Rites. We discard 4 cards. So that's not quite lethal. In that case, let's just kick 1 Bushwhacker, and then kick another Bushwhacker. And the next turn, more Bushwhackers plus Rites will be lethal, if they don't have any interaction here. But if they do, yeah, Casting the Fire was pretty bad. I was hoping it was just a Bolt, of course, but at least they're not using that to kill us, so unfortunate. Also good that we didn't go for a Rites of Initiation play there. Another Jagged Barons. I mean, I think I'm going 1 Bushwhacker here. I don't think I'm going to go both of them, because I would like to save 1 Haste Enabler for if we get, you know, a Kuldotha. But I think we're still doing 1 since we don't have much else going on. I want to apply a little bit of pressure. I think I'm going to map token onto here. See if we get an extra counter, maybe another land, once this lag clears up. So map token, explore. Got a Fanatical Offering. Did just get rid of our main expendable card to use that, but I still don't hate 2 cards. Yeah, we'll leave it on top. Jagged Barons them, and attack for 3. Alright, 12 all. And we're getting a Fanatical. They have the Kuldotha. Did not find a Bushwhacker, though, which is good, because we get 2 and the Festivities here. Let's Fanatical this bridge. Maybe I should have just end the Festivities attacked first, because maybe they try to kill this. But that's okay. And the Festivities. Again. Play a Clockwork, and we'll attack for 3. Maybe we should have mapped. And I'll pass. Next turn, we can go for Bushwhacker and maybe Rites. There's a Synth for them. Into a Blast Runner. It's a decent blocker. Play a Mountain, so 1 card in hand. We get a Mountain. All right, let's try to grow our Percussionist. Get another Clockwork on top. Let's leave that. Play a Mountain. And I think now is probably a fine to kick a Bushwhacker. A fine time to kick a Bushwhacker. This means they have to block unless they have a Bolt. And depending on what they block or Bolt, we can maybe Rites them. The block here, they just take 2. I think that's fine. Or go down to 2. We could Rites, but if they have a Lightning Bolt in response, it's a little awkward. And I think we're just probably in a good spot to kill them next turn. Plus, not likely to die because we have a Cast into the Fire. They have an End the Festivities. Ooh, do they have 2 End the Festivities? Or Cast into the Fire. There it is. Okay. Well, this is going to get our Clockwork, and our Clockwork can use Rites and can within the Festivities. You know, we got a couple ways to kill him here. They got no cards in hand, so Let's do this, and the festivities, hit them for 1, and attack. Boom. No need to even cast the rights there. All right, we're on the play. This hand is so close. Missing a land. We're going to have to mulligan that, I think. This one's got no creatures, but I think we're going to keep it. 2 lands and some removal, card draw. So, opponent also most to 6, and we're on the play, so we might be okay here, depending on what they're doing. Dark Moss Bridge. Okay. Let's look like... I was going to say look like Affinity, but Jagged Barrens makes that a little hard. Dark Moss Bridge. Jund. Wildfire, probably. Could be Broodscale. And yeah, I think we're just Deadly Disputing here. Playing the control or mid-range game, I guess, at the moment. Vault of Whispers into Refurb. Okay, let's... I don't really want to discard anything here yet. Ichor Wellspring's fine, but let's just Deadly Dispute. If we draw a bunch of lands, we can pitch a land without a care in the world. Did get 1. Yeah, I think that's fine. We do need to find more creatures, but 1 Kuldotha and we're kind of set. Mog War Marshal's not bad. I can play that and then Bushwhacker. That's 6 damage right there. I kind of like that. If we write, I mean that's 18 exactly, but that means they would need to not have a Galvanic, so I don't think we're going for the rights. But I kind of like hitting for 6 right here, softening their life total a little bit. Not quite as good as Kuldotha, obviously. It's 2 mana and only 2 guys, but still not bad. If they trade the refurb for one of these, I'm okay with that too. Looks like they're going for it. Maybe they have a sack on it, Deadly Dispute here. Should be reasonable. The bad thing is going to be if they get a Chrysalis down here. They have a cast down, okay. Respect. Chrysalis would be pretty bad, because it's really tough to get through a Chrysalis, in case you were unaware. I know it's just tough to know. Ooh, a Visionary. I kind of like that, because it doesn't seem amazing. It's just expensive. It draws them a card, so it's not like card disadvantage. I think we got to draw for more creatures this turn, so I don't think we're paying for this War Marshal. Well, there's our Kuldotha. Now we need another Bushwhacker. Let's start with a Wellspring. Fanatical. I could just go for the Kuldotha, but if they have a Krark, which they probably will, they're definitely going to use it there. Whereas if I don't show the Kuldotha, maybe they don't put it down yet. Let's just Fanatical this Wellspring. There's the Bushwhacker. All right, we're in business. So do I even play a land here? Because next turn I can go Kuldotha, a map, Bushwhacker, rights. And we don't need another land for that. We also have the Galvanic if they do play the Krark, so we can take it out pre-combat. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of cards to use. That's 3, maybe 4. So I actually think we'd like to keep these lands in hand. Our rights actually does a little bit of something. I wouldn't hate playing a mountain and then playing a Chromatic Star there. Kind of what I wanted to do, but I think this is probably better. Well, Chrysalis makes this tough, obviously, as we were just discussing. And they left up black, so they have a Deadly Dispute or maybe another cast down. I guess even a Toxin Analysis. Another Bushwhacker. Okay. Well, let's play a Star and Kuldotha it. Jagged Barrens. So then we play Bushwhacker, get in, 2 get through, and we can get in for 5, 6, 7, so that's 14, so not quite lethal, but then pretty close. Or I can wait till next turn, I can double Bushwhack, but then if they have the Krark, we're like toast. Yeah, it's tough. If we attack with everything and they Deadly Dispute, then we know the coast is pretty clear, although they could have a Galvanic, which means if they do that, we discard our entire hand, and we only get in for like 7, that's pretty bad. We're going to lose that game. So I think we just try to wait one more turn. Let's map token this since we have the mana. We drew a Dross Forge, so let's play a Jagged Barrens. I guess maybe we wanted to play the Dross Forge because that would give us Galvanic Blast online in case we need to kill this or something. Yep, see, we can't kill it here when they Deadly Dispute this spawn. But it's a card down anyway, so I'm not sure we'd want to. I don't know. Could have been good for the option, at least. What did they got here? Another Chrysalis. Well, that's a challenge for sure. Pass with 4 blockers up. I'm going to take 4 here. 4 blockers again. I could cycle the Star, double Bushwhacker, still rights, or 5. 2 of our guys are getting through, potentially. and 2 through rights for 5, plus the Bushwhackers is like 5, 6, 13, I think. All right, so let's cycle this star. Draw a card. Mog War Marshal. Okay, that gives us an extra guy, but then I can't double Bushwhacker. I could just single Bushwhacker, but that means 3 guys getting through. Boom, boom, boom. 3 guys getting through for plus 5. That's lethal, but, you know, it's lethal if they don't have any interaction, and they probably do. They have 5 mana up right now, so all the mana in the world. If I go for it, 3 guys through, Bushwhacker 5, so they're all doing 7 damage. So if they have 1 removal spell, I still get in for 14. 2 removal spells, not great. So every turn we wait is another turn they could Krark, but I'm just not confident enough. So I guess we'll pass again and see if they play another Chrysalis and screw us out even further. It's possible we should just go for it because things are getting worse, but I don't know. If we're lucky, they will do things like this, Deadly Dispute, lose a guy, and then not have the removal or creatures to follow up, adding more blockers. But that seems like a tough proposition. They have a boarding party. Okay. So kind of ramp Cascade done. Okay. Altasaur, cast down. Well, they got a cast down. That's annoying. Boarding party is interesting. Maybe they'll want to go on the offensive with that. Then again, I do have this chump blocker. Okay, they do. So just block here. They still have 4 mana though. So still not great. Fanatical. I don't know if we can spare the mana. Well, I guess if we only single Bushwhacker, we can spare the mana. Fanatical. We go up to 9 cards in hand. Bushwhacker Rights puts us at 7 cards in hand. We have 6 2/1s, 7 cards, so they're all getting plus 7. So that's 9 1s, and we have 6 of them, which means 3 get blocked, and then they need to kill 2 of them to not die. That seems pretty good. Plus, if we get something good off this Fanatical, we could go even higher. So I think we give that a go. We're going to sack the land. Okay. Not crazy good. We could also double Bushwhacker still, which would make them... It'd still be 9 1s, but we'd have an extra one, right? I think. So we have 9. Bushwhacker... We have to play a land for it, though. Okay, so that changes it. So we play a land. Bushwhacker Rights. So that puts us at... We're only discarding 5, but we've also gotten 2 bumps from the Bushwhackers, so still plus 7 for almost all but 1. Plus 7, plus their power is 8, which means only 2 is needed for lethal, and we have 7 of them, which means they need to be able to kill 3. So if they have like a breath weapon or something, we're toast. But if they don't, they would need 3 individual removal spells, and I think that's a good enough odds for me. So we're going to go for it. Now is our chance. But yeah, if they're main decking in their like creature deck, breath weapons or suffocating fumes, obviously we're dead, but we're going to be dead to that no matter what, because they're not going to tap out of it and they're going to wait for this. So let's just take the opportunity we have and see if we can win. This is a lot of damage right here. Block, block, block. And this is only 11. So we do have to go for it before they do anything. So let's write. Try to pitch 5 cards and see if we got there. There goes our hand. They have a Desperation Deadly Dispute and a Terminate to kill 1 guy. And they go to -8. Yep, still needed 2 more removal spells to survive that. So that was pretty sick. All right, Jund. I'm assuming they're probably Jund Wildfire with Cascades because we saw the Altasaur and the boarding party. So it's kind of like classic Jund Wildfire mixed with modern Jund Wildfire, which is refurbished and Writhing Chrysalis. Kind of cool. So I'm going to assume Casting the Fires are pretty good, especially if we can catch a Cleansing Wildfire with it. These are not going to be good. And the Festivities gets spawns and gets refurbs, but that's not really great. We didn't see any blood fountains. I would assume they probably have some, but I don't know if Rotten Ruins are worth bringing in for that. What to take out? I like having some Galvanics, just a way to kill a Chrysalis, sometimes. Or a boarding party or anything like that. So there's nothing specific I really want to cut here. I will say the Chromatic Stars, I originally had in my list for 3 colors because I thought they were really good. They're another card to sacrifice to your Deadly Disputes or your Kuldothas, but also it fixes your mana. I don't know if the mana needs to be as fixed here. Obviously, you want as much red as possible, but every land already taps for red, and you want to have black, so it's an extra 4 black sources. Currently, we haven't seen ourselves getting screwed off of not having any black, so maybe we need a little more testing to make sure that that is often or almost always the case. But if it is, I think the Chromatic Stars could actually be replaced by something else. I'm not exactly sure what. I mean, Nile Spellbombs if you want to go a little more utility in the deck. Synthesizers, maybe? Feels not great because if you flip a Rites of Initiation, you have to use it that turn, and it's so blatant. I'm not exactly sure, but that's kind of why I feel pretty comfortable cutting them right now, is they don't feel integral to this version of the deck. Maybe a vestige of the old deck. I think maybe we'll try a couple Rotten Reunions. This deck also sometimes runs, well, some versions of the Jund Wildfire also run like Pulse of Marasa. If we can catch them with that, that would be kind of cool. And if nothing else, it's just 2 more tokens, which we will want more tokens because they're going to bring in every Kark clan and breath weapon that they have. So let's give this a try. Ooh. If we get to Kuldotha, this hand's amazing because we can do like a turn 4 win, probably. But we don't have anything good to sacrifice with this Fanatical, so all we're doing right now is hitting land drops, and that doesn't seem good enough. So I think we got a mulligan. This one's better. Not amazing, but at least we have plays. I think we're going to get rid of a Great Furnace just in case they get like a Gorilla Shaman. I'd rather not get blown up. Starting with a mountain's pretty cool for us because that means that they might not have their all 3 colors. I think we're just going to start with a Clockwork, start applying a little bit of pressure, even if it's only 1 or 2 damage. Next turn we can Wellspring and then get our black mana online after that. Another mountain for them. I mean, they did mulligan to 6, so if they kept an all red hand, that would be pretty good for us. Attack for 1 more and lay down an Ichor Wellspring. I mean, then again, if they are all red, they could have Cast into the Fire or Gorilla Shaman for this Great Furnace, so maybe we do get punished a little bit here. But we wanted to play our Wellspring, so we'll see what they got with their currently 2 red mana. They are just passing. Okay. Let's attack for 1. They did tap 2 red as if they had something. Feels like maybe they have a Cast into the Fire, but they want to save it for our black source. We're going to play our Jagged Barons first, so that does not happen. But let's get down another Wellspring, Rotten Reunion. There we go. That's something. I mean, even a Rotten Reunion with Percussionist and a Rites of Initiation can get there. They also missed their land drop, so clearly they kept a pretty rough hand, kind of a gamble that is not paying off, it doesn't look like. Another Rites. Okay, well, we will attack for 1, and we'll give them the opportunity to get rid of this bridge now if they want, just because I'd rather get double black online. And then I'm probably going to Rotten Reunion this turn, even if there isn't anything to get, just because I'd love the possibility of getting there with this, like a Rites here or something. There's a Cleansing Wildfire. We don't have our own Cast into the Fire yet, so that's pretty good for them. They're behind, obviously, quite a bit, but this can find their green source as well, so they're... unless they don't play any forests. Interesting. Well, we're going to take that. They're at 15. We're going to draw to 4th card off Rites, so we can hit for 8, 11 right there. But we can actually Galvanic Blast them now, which is actually 2 extra damage. So, yeah, so 13. So we're almost there. If we can get a Bushwhacker or something, we're already going to win. Another Rites, not quite what you want. And our Rotten Reunion guy doesn't have haste. So, just making sure. I Galvanic them, they're at 11. And then I Rites for 3. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, and they're at 11. So yeah, not quite lethal. Man, Deadly Dispute would have been phenomenal there. So we're just attacking with this Percussionist. In general, never pitch your entire hand to a Rites of Initiation unless you're going to win. There are obviously reasons maybe that's not quite right, but usually that's what you want to be doing. So I'm not going to do it even if it gets them to 13. This is pretty annoying, admittedly. Taking a card means our Rites gets worse, but what are you going to do? Can't do anything about it. It also just means they have a blocker, but that's okay. Deadly Dispute's a great draw. Let's just do that. Get our value going. Another Deadly Dispute. All right, well, even if we're not hitting in for lethal here, which I could try, but they have Breath Weapon mana open. They have a couple Galvanics. Usually I try to think, why would an opponent keep a hand that seems so obviously terrible? Usually there's a reason. Maybe it's just they mulliganed to 6 and didn't want to mulligan again. Usually, though, it's, oh, well, they have a Galvanic or 2 to hold us off, or they have a Breath Weapon, they'll need 1 more land for it. So I just like to not overcommit when they have a bunch of mana open. They're going to Deadly Dispute their Refurb. Okay. I am just going to play a Mountain here and pass. I'm playing a land because we have another Deadly Dispute, so we're going to draw a bunch more cards, and I want to have as much mana as I can for them. Oh, they're killing the zombie token. Fair. Do I want to Deadly Dispute that? It's good if I get another Dispute effect, although we already have a Wellspring in hand. So maybe I just want to sack the Wellspring. I think we'll just let it go. Yeah, but we have a lot more draw, so I'd like to have a lot of mana, because it's totally possible we'll want to do, like, double Bushwhacker in a turn or something like that. Looks like they might have another Refurb. Yeah, Infinity 3. Never mind. Is that a boarding party? Yes, it is. All right. They get a Deadly Dispute off of that. That's not bad. I don't think I've ever seen a Deadly Dispute cast off a Cascade before, but that's kind of cool. Sack their treasure and get it back. They have a boarding party. They're probably going to swing, because that's a lot of damage. So we're going to Deadly Dispute first to see what I have going on, because I might want to Galvanic this, but I might just want to let it go if I get, like, Kuldotha and Bushwhacker here. And I didn't, but I did get another Galvanic, so I think we're going to go for it. We have 4 artifacts, so even if they have a way to blow up 1, we'll be fine. So we'll not take the 6 hit here. That's just something that's like, oh, maybe we can save that card and it'll be good. Because we could go for the Burn Wind. Maybe I should just do that, actually. But it's also like, it could just kill us. Then again, we have a Bushwhacker now, so I think we're going to Rotten Reunion, Bushwhacker, and then maybe Rights. They do have a treasure token, so they could kill one thing with a bolt. If we do that, Rotten Reunion, Bushwhacker, we're still at 7 cards in hand, and that uses most of our mana. Then we Rights, so we're at 6 cards in hand, which means any 2 of these are going to be lethal. So I think this is lethal unless they have some way to kill 2 cards with 1 mana, which seems unlikely. So let's give it a go. Rotten Reunion, their Refurb. Let's Bushwhacker. I could also Ichor Wellspring first to see what's going on, but I'd have to sack my treasures to do that, and that doesn't seem like we'll have the mana to use whatever we draw. So I might as well just do this and go for the Rights play. They have the Lightning Bolt. I will say, in this case, that's fine. Galvanic Blast actually does 2 more damage by casting it here. So let's just Galvanic Blast them, and then Rites of Initiation. It should have been lethal either way, but hey, just extra damage is extra damage. So let's hit for 14, and that is a win. Okay, this is always the interesting. I could Great Furnace Kuldotha turn 1, and then I could Mountain Rites turn 2. We're on the draw, so that would put us at 5 cards in hand, so that's not lethal. That's 18 damage. Still, I mean, that's quite unfortunate. Obviously, you want to get that sweet play. Still a pretty good hand. We can still just do a Chromatic Star on turn 2, Kuldotha that, and then Rights. Or maybe Morg War Marshal. That's how I was going to pronounce that. With that Boston accent. War Marshal. Fairy Seer with an island. So it could be mono blue Fae, could be blue-black. Either way, probably going to be pretty annoying. Pretty much everything in our deck gets countered pretty easily by a Spell Stutter. Certainly on 2. Well, we're going to get the Chromatic Star down while we can. And not go for the Great Furnace sack play. Another island tells me probably just mono blue. They opt to leave up their Spell Stutter here. Jagged Barrens. So I could go for the Mog War Marshal, but even if they have a Spell Stutter, that still counters it because it's 2. I could Kuldotha, but that seems bad. I think we're just Jagged Barrens-ing and then passing because we don't want to get anything countered. And by not getting something countered, not only do we have the potential for it to fly under the radar, but also we don't let them get another 1/1 on the field and double their clock. They do get a Ninja at the Deep Hours to double their clock here. And it looks like they can hold up Spell Pierce here, unless they play that Fairy Seer again. But they don't have... Okay, so they're letting us get some stuff down here, which is actually really good, because once we get down to Kuldotha and a Mogwa Marshal, they can't really do much against 5/1/1s. We'll have to then deal with getting the Rites of Initiation to go through, but getting all these 1/1s down first is pretty good. Yeah, so let's start with Kuldotha on the Chromatic Star. Get a Fanatical. We also have all these card draw spells. But let's just put down 5 1/1s. I bet they were not expecting that. This also just makes it so this ninja can't really get through. If they attack, I will block with literally every single one of my 1/1s. So even if they have a Brine Barrow and a Snap and a bunch of stuff, they're not going to be able to get there. They do have another ninja for this Fairy Seer. Okay. And then they're leaving up their 2 mana, so I can't really go for a rights play here. Oh, I maybe should have tried to Deadly Dispute this, but then again, I mean, I could pay for this, attack with everything, and then Rites of Initiation, but if they have a counterspell, we're toast. I don't think we're paying for it. I could still just do that, and then if they don't have the counterspell, we're fine. Kuldotha Rebirth. Oh, I guess they don't have... They brought up their Fairy. So actually, they can't counter a 2-drop unless they just use a full counterspell on it. So Ichor Wellspring could be good. Or I could go for the attack... Rites of Initiation if they block for 1, and then they counter it probably, which means I don't actually have to discard the card. If I Kuldotha Rebirth, they counter that, and then I attack with 4. If they block them both, I have Rites. I only hit in for like 10. I kill 2 of their guys. That's not very good, because I lose my whole hand. Ugh. I guess we're going for a Wellspring and hoping we draw an untapped land that we can then Deadly Dispute it with. Kind of all I got. If they counterspell here, or Spell Pierce, then I could Kuldotha Rebirth this Great Furnace. And if they have another Spell Pierce, I'm pretty toast. Or I attack with all of these guys now. Rites of Initiation. If they block, I don't get in for lethal. If they don't block, I do, because that's exactly 20 and they're at 19. If they do block, though, I trade for 1 and I still put them to 3 or 4. But then I have no cards in hand and I'm never going to get through for 4 damage. Ugh, tough spot. We're going to Kuldotha Rebirth this and hope they don't have a second Spell Pierce. They did not. Now, I think we just pass and then start attacking with 8 1/1s. It's a tough spot, but if we get a Rights through now, like even on 1 or 2, we're pretty good. But, you know, if we don't... then it's not pretty good, you see. They scry 2 to the top, don't attack, and they have double counterspell up. Well, we just Bushwhacker. It gets countered for sure. We attack for 8. Or I could attack for 8, Deadly Dispute one of the guys that gets blocked. That probably gets countered. We still get in for 5 or 6 damage. We lose only a couple goblins. If they attack us back, it might actually be good because it leaves them open. I think that's what we're going for. If the Deadly Dispute resolves, we're in a good spot, but a Spell Stutter makes it not resolve, so I think that's probably not happening. Brine Barrow pre-combat's pretty annoying, honestly, because that takes out the power of one guy and then blocks another guy, so that's annoying. Yeah, so they can eat 4 of these guys now? Well, that's not what I wanted. I was hoping 2 at the max. I could go for the Rights still, and technically we have enough open, but, like, again, they're going to be able to counter it, so I'm trying to draw out counter spells with not the Rights, but hey, if we lose 4 guys here, it's pretty bad anyway. And now they draw 2 cards. Okay, well that seemed bad. They're attacking with everything. Okay, they have another ninja. Yep, pick up the Brine Barrow. Well, yeah, I mean this is a bad matchup for sure, but things are not going well. Jagged Barons. I attack with the team and I Rights. I mean if they Brine Barrow 1 and block another again, then Rights isn't going to get there either way. So I think we just Jagged Barons and pass, and then we block Deadly Dispute and just hope they're not drawing counterspells, I guess. Block here, they Brine Barrow it. Block here to try to absorb some damage and leave a couple guys alive, I guess. Not great. Deadly Dispute, see if that goes through. It does not. Clockwork Percussionist. I don't think there's any way we win here, so let's just go to the next one. Good news is we get to bring in a bunch of 1 damage spells to everything, and then Pyroblasts. Galv Blasts, still pretty good. Pretty important we kill their stuff. So I think we're going to be cutting those stars and, like, some of this stuff. Some of our draw package, because we just kind of want to go faster. If they get to the point where they have a bunch of counterspells in hand, we're going to die. I think we just, I don't know, do that. Maybe more like this. Don't want to take out too many artifacts, but... I don't know. I think this is just one where we want to go under them. Want to be winning on turn 4-ish. I mean, we have good interaction, but we don't have a good... we don't have a turn 4 game plan. That's for sure. Even so, this hand seems okay. Well, let's see if I'm right, and we're going to lose because we don't have a turn 4 game plan, or if maybe we can play a little bit more of the late game with them. Do I want to play Nicker Wellspring, which can get Spell Pierced? I don't think so. I think this is our only way to draw into more stuff, so let's try to make sure it lands, especially for if we draw a Deadly Dispute. They go Brine Barrow. I mean, clearly they're doing this for a ninja. If they do it for a big ninja, I can blow up the big ninja, but if they do it for a small ninja, it's not great, so I think we just counter this. So if they do a big ninja, takes 2 mana, then we just shoot that. We're in a great spot. If they go for a small ninja, they do 1 mana, then they have a Spell Pierce on a red blast. It's pretty bad. Another Dross Forge. Well, let's get down to Wellspring. They have a counter spell. I don't think we're fighting over that. I think we're saving our last piece of interaction. This definitely feels like a tough matchup, and I'm not sure I'm playing it quite right. Again, I think this hand, I mean, drawing all lands is pretty brutal here, and that's a Deadly Dispute. So I don't think this hand is going to get there after all. We needed some different stuff to happen. Cogwork Wrestler. Sure. I can't really blast that now because then they can Spell Pierce. Not Spell Pierce, Spell Stutter, and that's really bad. So we'll just let them get their ninja, I guess. Or I could Deadly Dispute this, and then I can blast this. No, it's fine. I guess I can go for a War Marshal Bushwhacker here. Back for 6. That could be okay. Hit for a bit. Although we know they have a Cogwork Wrestler. Is that what it is? Why is it a Wrestler? And that's pretty annoying. Another Mog War Marshal. Well, I guess we're playing one of these. We're going to Red Blast or Blue Blast that? Sure. Let's play another one. They have another blast. I mean, we're going to fight over that one because we got to get something down. And this blocks this decently. And they have 3 cards left, one of which is a Cogwork Wrestler. They can't really attack here because they do have the Cogwork, but our Mog War Marshal is just a free block. And we're paying for it because we don't have anything else to do with our mana at the moment. Kuldotha Rebirth. I mean, they have 3 unknown cards. If any of them are counterspells, these are pretty bad. And even if they're not, the Wrestler is pretty annoying here. But I think we just have to try for it. Or do we wait until they tap out? But I don't think waiting is going to help here. Let's Kuldotha. That worked. I mean, let's Bushwhacker. See if they got anything. They don't. I mean, they have 1 Cogwork Wrestler. They could just have like 3 Brine Barrows as well. So, yep, there's the Wrestler. Shrink a guy. Just the 1. Take 8. Trade. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad for us. I mean, even their 1-2. Yeah, and they have a ninja for it. Okay, so that's pretty annoying. But getting in for 8 was kind of necessary. I guess we don't have a lot going for us now, though. Galvanic Blast. We swing. They Wrestler 1. Block another that they only take 2. So I think we just pass. They have 5 mana for a Lorien. I didn't think these decks usually even ran Lorien. That's interesting. Seems decent here. Hey, but no land. Clockwork's okay. I would have much preferred a Bushwhacker. Or even like a Deadly Dispute into a Bushwhacker. But hey, we're hitting for 5. Maybe we have a shot here. They do have 7 cards, 8 cards in hand. So probably don't have a shot. But they gotta make something happen here. Cycle another Lorien. Play their island. Pass. We know they have 1 Cogwork Wrestler. They could easily have 2 or 3 more. We draw a Mountain. I mean, that's pretty bad for us. They have a Spell Stutter. I mean, okay. And there's the Wrestler. So they can eat 2 guys here, take 3. That's what they're doing. And we're passing. They attack for 1. Assume they have a ninja for it. Indeed. Deal 2 and draw a card. They're at 7 again. There's our Deadly Dispute, which is definitely going to get counterspelled. But let's try to hit for 1 more, I guess, so that our Galvanics are online. There's a Wrestler. They could block all of the damage if they want, but they could also let 1 through. It's up to them. They want to try to keep the Spell Stutter alive. They do. Doing it this way. I mean, I'm going to Deadly Dispute this guy. See if they got that other Spell Stutter. Surprise, they do. 1 damage to them, and pass. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a world where they have 0 counterspells and 0 ninjas to pick up Spell Stutters, and we just top tick a Galvanic Blast and hit them, but that seems very unlikely. But we'll play to our outs. Cycle another Lorien. I mean, that's a Jagged Barons. I guess there's also a world where we just double Jagged Barons them. Do I want to throw away this Percussionist? No, I'd rather throw it away on a block to get my card than just throw it away on nothing. They're going to pass. Well, rather, pass to their turn. There's a Fairies here. Another Jagged Barons would be great. They can't do anything about that. So we have 2 left in the deck. Let's hope we draw 1. And I don't think these guys are ever getting through, so let's just try to block the draw spells they can have. The draw creatures they have, that is. They shrink this. If this turns up Jagged Barons, that's going to be really funny. Oh, look at that! Look how funny that is! They can't do anything about it. They don't have any life gain, and they don't have any counter spells for lands. Unless they had a Stifle. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, well, I guess we played to our outs. Didn't even realize we had those outs, but we drew pretty well there. And I guess we have a chance to take the match still. So let's not give up hope. Let's reconsider. Do we want like more Cast of the Fires? Kind of think yes. Like more ways to get rid of their guys seems good. I know we already have a bunch. War Marshals seemed good. Problem is everything else seems good / necessary. But if we cut all our card draw, we're going to be kind of in the spot we were just in, where it's like we can't really draw for anything, but also if they just counter all our draw, it doesn't do much anyway. All right, let's see what we can do. End the festivities, Cast in the Fire. Okay, this is another one where we would be on the defensive, and that seems bad. I don't think this hand is keepable, unfortunately. This hand is better. We're just mono red at this point, but that's fine. Let's keep it. And I think we have to get rid of one of these interaction pieces. So Galvanic or End the Festivities. Let's just get rid of the Galvanic. I don't really know which one's best, but if they just start with like a turn 1 Fairy, I might just End the Festivities it. If not, I can attack with like Clockwork turn 1, but then they just Brine Barrow it or something. Okay, well, if they just counter it, that's fine too. All right, fair enough. I didn't want to just throw it away to a Brine Barrow though, but we don't have to. We'll throw it away to a Beb. All right, Drossforge Bridge, sure. Got our black mana. We're gonna need that, so that's fine. If they Spell Stutter here, do we blast it? Well, they cycle Alorian, so looks like we're fine. Get their land drop and pass. Yeah, problem is if they just play more of this like control game rather than the tempo game, then we kind of don't have a good shot at winning. Brine Barrow, like, just makes things very difficult. They're going to turn it into a ninja. If we red blast it, they'll just have a Spell Stutter. Okay, if we're just taking one, I love that. I do hate that. Extra rights is the last thing I want to see here. But if they don't have a ninja... Oh, well, now they do. Moon Circuit Hacker, I think, is fine. I think I'm just going to end the festivities to try to get that rather than red elemental blasting it. And then we have this for the Spell Stutter if they have it. They have 2 counters. We're kind of screwed. There's a Clockwork. Let's just end the festivities. No more festivities for you. That worked. Let's Clockwork. They're going to try to Spell Stutter that. Let's counter. And they got the second one. Or maybe they're deciding if they just want to Spell Pierce it. I really wish this was a Pyro right now. Alright, they have the Hydroblast after some lag. And yeah, that's going to work, unfortunately. We still know they have a Brine Barrow in hand. It is slipping away here. Tandem Lookout. Never seen this in Fairies, but I kind of like it. Alright, they draw a card here. Turn 2 guys into ninjas, so that's kind of cool. I mean, I think that's going to just do it. If that was at the festivities, it'd be great. Obviously, they could have a counter spell, but if it was just about anything, it'd be fine. But that is terrible. I guess we have to play this to try to kill this. I mean, this is why sometimes I don't like running 4 Rites of Initiation. It's so crucial that 4 feels necessary. But what are you going to do? I'm surprised they didn't attack with this because they have that Brine Barrow. So we could have just done that, but they flip the Spell Stutter into a ninja, and they can still Soul Bond it. That's pretty good. They get to draw 2 cards here. I mean, we're going to draw 1 card, but I think we're dead. They have a Spell Stutter in hand now, so anything we play is going to get countered. Cast into the Fire, I guess not anything. I guess we're still here, but they're at 19. I can't really imagine getting them down from here, unless they, like, stupidly tap out, and then we open up a Kuldotha Bushwhacker package or something. We're going to block here. If we block here, they just go Brine Barrow, and then we get nothing done. If we block here, we can maybe cast these both into the fire. They'll probably just have a counterspell for it, but if they don't, we make some progress. And they did, and it lands. Alright, well, it was pretty cool that we got that second game off double Jagged Barons. Alright, we're on the play for this one. We have 2 Clockworks, 2 Rights, Deadly Dispute. I mean, Clockwork's pretty good. Let's give it a try. Opponent on the Multa 6, the Multa 5, the Multa 4, maybe? Come on. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to continue drawing terrible hands. All right, they're on 5. I guess that's fine. Just a little bit of a buff for us. Colony Garden. Okay. Who's playing this card anymore? What is this? 2023? Clockwork Percussionists will attack for 1. They could just be on actual gardens. They could be on Broodscale. Usually the Golgari version runs more gardens. Energy Refractor definitely tells me Broodscale, or at least some form of combo deck. This definitely fell out of favor a little bit for the Broodscale decks, but hey, somebody could still be running it for sure. We have another Rites of Initiation. So I kind of want to, let's see, if we Clockwork and Chromatic Star, an attack, next turn, we have our triple rights, of course. Next turn, we draw a 5th card, we Deadly Dispute the Chromatic Star, we go up to 8 cards, and then we can Rites of Initiation for 7 on 2 Clockworks, which is 16 damage, plus we're getting in for 2 this turn, so that's not quite lethal. So instead, I think we're going to Deadly Dispute this Clockwork to try to hit our land drop this turn and try to get some more creatures and try to go for lethal in a different way. If we had lethal next turn, I would absolutely be going for that, but we are 1 short. It's not quite good enough. Deadly Dispute's not bad up here. Let's find our land, though, please. Untapped would be even better, but I'll take tapped. Sure. Jagged Barrens, hit him for 1, and I'll just pass. We want that treasure. Okay. Not amazing, not terrible. We're hitting our land drops. We're getting cards going. I just think we're against a control or combo deck, and so I'd rather kill them quickly, but whatever. Another Clockwork Percussionist. So I think we're playing, let's see, if we play Chromatic Star, Deadly Dispute that, we're back up to 9 cards. We play a Draw Swords Bridge, and we can play a Clockwork, and we're fine without going to discard. So I think that's fine. Let's do that. Deadly Dispute the Chromatic. Galvanic Blast, that's good to hold up. We get an untapped land here, yeah. So let's play a Mountain, let's play a Clockwork, and then you have double Galvanic to hold up if they are, in fact, whatever that is, Broodscale. All right, blocking with the plant, probably going to Deadly Dispute it. Eviscerator's Insight, okay. Even more telling of the Broodscale. Eviscerator's Insight's only a card that you want in select decks, usually either very control decks, because you can afford the 5 black, or combo decks like Golgari, because you get to the mana and also you really need the dig. So Wellspring, they did get another Colony Garden plant, so we're not going to probably be able to Clockwork Percussionist kill them this turn. Mog War Marshal, but no haste on that. Because I could Clockwork, double Galvanic them, they're at 9, and then attack with 2 Clockworks and Rights for 4, which is lethal if they don't block with their plant. So I guess we play the Clockwork and attack, and if they don't block with their plant, we should be able to kill them, but I don't really see why they wouldn't. I guess if they have more Deadly Disputes, or like this, maybe they want to wait. But they also have an Ichor Wellspring here, so it feels like they're going to block. Let's just see what they do. They didn't block. Okay, so Galvanic, just making sure of the math, puts them to 9. Rites of Initiation for 4, hits for 10. So I think this should be lethal unless they have any removal for black mana or life gain, which I don't think they should. Like Tommy was safekeeping the green spell, they can't afford that. So let's try to kill him. Double Galvanic. I understand also that they didn't think they were in danger of dying here, because we needed 15 additional damage, and we found it. But I just wasn't sure if they would use the plant. Is that lethal? Hey, that's pretty cool. All right. I'm going to guess Broodscale. It looks to be that. They do have Eviscerator's Insight, so Rotten Reunion could be good, and the Festivities does not really need to be in. Gorilla Shaman, we didn't see any artifact lands, so I think all we're maybe bringing in is Rotten Reunions, which are good for the Eviscerator, but we're trying to go under Eviscerator, plus the double black doesn't really help us with speed necessarily, because we don't always have double black, so I actually think maybe the main deck is just better. But even just having one more 2/2 could be better than, like, say, a Chromatic Star. So yeah, I think maybe we'll do that. They're probably going to have Drown in Sorrows now, so we need to be a little bit more careful about trying to go for haste wins. We have the Bushwhacker, obviously. War Marshal's not going to help with haste wins, but also if they do Drown in Sorrow, the Mog War Marshal, the first turn we play it, we get a guy back, so that's not bad. So I think this hand looks okay. We also have the Deadly Dispute for the War Marshal. They landscape into Forest right away. We have triple Jagged Barrens. Hey, that's 3 free damage, so that's not bad. And there's a Wellspring. So yeah, we're playing War Marshal this turn. There's a Galvanic. And the next turn, I'm probably just deadly disputing the War Marshal. And we would need to draw untapped red for Bushwhacker Rights to really be a viable option. And that's possible, but I don't think it's quite what we're going for. Ooh, they're missing their land drop. So Rites of Initiation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we have to either pay for this or we have to find a red. So yeah, I think it's unfortunate because there's a total possibility. If we just top deck a mountain here, we kick a Bushwhacker and we have, what is that, 6, and then we have a Rites of Initiation for 4. So like that's, I guess that's only 18. So it's not quite lethal either way. Whatever, we're deadly disputing this. I think this is the right play. This also will let us have a treasure to hold up Galvanic Blast. Then again, they missed their land drop, so I'm not really expecting them to be able to combo this next turn. They would have to have something crazy, seeing as they would need 2 for Broodscale, 1 for Sadistically, and maybe a Snuff Out to get it going or something. But alright, draw 2. Wellspring, another Bushwhacker. Not going to pay for the Marshal. Draw for turn, that's a Rotten Reunion. Okay, so we get to attack for 1 here. Jagged Barrens them, and pass. Next turn, we can go for Rotten Reunion, Bushwhacker, Rights, maybe? That would be Rights for 5 with 4 creatures. That's definitely lethal. Troublemaker, Oof, their Wellspring. Okay, that's a blocker, and they get to take out this treasure, but we're just going to use it with this Rotten Reunion, so not really going to waste. And then if they block 1, but we Bushwhacker Rights for +5... 5 off the Rights, but also 1 off the Bushwhacker, so that's 6, and then they're all at least 1 to power, so that's 7. They can only block 1, so that's 21 damage. They could have a Galvanic Blast, because I see they are, in fact, Jund. They have the Galvanic. They're taking 14 down to 3, which if they then... We'd have no hand, and if they then play, like, Chrysalis, it's pretty bad. So, I think we're being patient. I think we're maybe Galvanic Blasting this, and then Bushwhacking. And then next turn we can like Rotten Reunion, second Bushwhacker, or maybe just Rights Bushwhacker. But I think this is what we're doing. Try to play it a little safer. And we're not attacking with this zombie token this turn, I don't think, because we'd rather save it for if we have the Rights. Because remember, you have to sacrifice a Decayed token when it attacks. But hitting in for 6, putting them to 11, and then 10 with this Jagged Barrens. Not bad. Gives us a lot of potential to kill next turn. They have another Energy Refractor. That bodes very well for us. Because if they're using 2 of their mana just to cycle, you know, we're in a good spot, I think. There's a Shambling Ghast. That's a blocker. Plus they have potentially a Tamio's Safekeeping. Samio's Safekeeping. So if I Bushwhacker here and then Rights, or I could Bushwhacker whatever they block with Shambling Ghast, I Deadly Dispute. Then I Rights. So we're using these 3 cards, but we're up to 4, so +4. I think that should be lethal. I don't know what they could have that's going to get them out of that. Tommy is Safekeeping them, gains them 2, and they have 1 blocker, but that still seems pretty good to me. So, swing with the team. Sandstorm. Oh, hey, that's a pretty good card, actually, isn't it? I forgot that some decks were playing that. Okay, well, we're not... At least they didn't wait for us to do the Rights. That's pretty good. Let's Deadly Dispute, and... They get 3 of our guys. Okay, we're not out of it, but that is brutal for sure. They trade here. That's fine. Get a treasure. Do I want to play a land here? It's obviously, we have another Rights. Or we still have the Rights because we didn't use it. So probably don't want to play a land. Ooh, but if I Mountain, then I could Rotten Reunion on the end step. Play a Clockwork. Rights is only for 3. I think we want the possibility of doing that, though, because that way we won't need a haste enabler. So, they have a token here. That Sandstorm was pretty bad. I have seen it in sideboards just a few times. This is the first time I've been gotten by it, which is why I didn't really register it in my mind. I don't think we're Rotten Reunioning here, because I think we have to do at least 1 more setup turn, unless we, like, get Kuldotha off this Wellspring into a Bushwhacker, but no. I think play Wellspring, Deadly Dispute it. That's a pretty good draw that we got the Deadly Dispute. Ooh, maybe just War Marshal here. Let's Deadly Dispute first. Draw a bunch. There's the Kuldotha. So do we Kuldotha knowing that they could just have a Drown in Sorrow? Or do I save that for maybe next turn with a Bushwhacker? I think let's War Marshal. This is a little safer. Because we have this Wellspring, we have a lot to play, actually. I am going to run out another land. It's awkward if we're going to end up needing that land, but we currently have potentially like 5 or 7 cards we're going to play. Ooh, they have a Weather the Storm for 12 life. That's pretty good. It's not as devastating against us as it is against mono red because we have the rights potential, but we were trying to get them at, on the 10 life, and that's not going to work. They just passed. Didn't even really think about playing anything, which tells me they probably just have a lot of interaction. I think we're keeping this War Marshal. Another mountain. Let's play a Wellspring. I don't think we're going to Kuldotha until we have a Bushwhacker, or until they've wiped the board at least once. So let's play a Percussionist and then swing in for 3 here. If they have another Sandstorm, we get a 1/1 back and we get a Clockwork Percussionist trigger. Breath Weapon, same deal, so that's fine. It also gets rid of their plant, which isn't bad. So there's the Bushwhacker, and we have the Kuldotha, so we're definitely just saving that all for next turn since we have plenty of mana for it. We're not going to give them the potential to kill us with the Kuldotha here. Another Weather the Storm for a bunch. Annoying, but still not undefeatable. With the Jund version of this list a month or 2 ago, I believe we beat someone at 50 life because we just discarded 9 cards or something. That was pretty cool. I do think they probably just have another Breath Weapon. They clearly have more stuff, but we got to at least go for it. I think we're probably not going to be pitching our hand this turn. Another Right's not really what we want to see. I think we're also leaving the Rotten Reunion in the grave. If we hit for 10 here, great. But I don't really... There's no way we can win here, and... well, then again, what? This is 25 more damage? Actually, we can't. We literally can win with the Rites of Initiation right here. I don't think we're going to take that chance, I say. Maybe. They've been really hasty about running out their Breath Weapons and Sandstorms, so this almost makes me think maybe they don't have one, but maybe they are just now trying to lull us into a false sense of security. That is 25 more damage, plus the 10 they're already taking. That's 35 damage. If we discard our hand, and then they blow up our board, we lose the game. I think that's pretty safe to say. Whereas if they blow up our board and we don't rights, we have a shot, but we don't have a great shot. We have to get, like, Wellspring into Deadly Dispute. Hey, sometimes you just gotta go for it, am I right? They've already used a Breath Weapon and a Sandstorm. Let's just see what they got. To be honest, we're not even losing that much out of discarding our hand anyway. We lose 1 more rights, but other than that, it's just lands. Obviously, the number of cards for another rights, but like it's not like we had a bunch of good value that we are going to lose this way. Tamio's Safekeeping to keep them alive at 1. Okay. Hey, I mean, obviously they did that right. We didn't just lose or lose our board. So even if they wipe our board now, they have a Broodscale and they have a Sadistically, but they have no cards in hand and nothing in the graveyard, so they can have infinite of every color mana that they want, but only 2 blockers. So see, sometimes you just got to go for it. It would have felt so bad if they had the Sandstorm there, but sometimes they don't have it, and then you can win games. And here we're getting in for 3. Boom, nice. Sand looks pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Could be made better by a Kuldotha. Speaking of, Great Furnace Pass. I mean, I'm thinking that's probably mono red, but also no turn 1 play is pretty interesting. But that's okay. Usually that means they have a burn heavy hand. They have a synthesizer that they're gonna use. On turn 2, they have a Bushwhacker or Kuldotha, which they don't want to use right away. So we'll see. See what it is. Vault of Whispers. Okay, maybe they're just grab the prize. Okay, well, there you go. Maybe it's just not Kuldotha. Grab the prize is pretty good. I mean, I think we might have a good shot here, though. We have a really fast start because we get to... I guess we need a 3rd land if we want to... There's another Bushwhacker. Because we kind of want to Mog War Marshal this turn and then next turn Bushwhack Rights. But yeah. Okay, then again, we could also play Bushwhacker and Clockwork this turn. Just a naked Bushwhacker. No, not kicked. Attack for 2. They're at 17. They also have some life gain in the deck. Is something to keep in mind, so it's harder to calculate exactly if we can kill them. I think we're probably just Mog War Marshalling, and then Bushwhacker, like, even without a Rights, is going to just be pretty good. So we'll see what that does. They could definitely leave back Sneaky Snacker. That might help them a little bit. Oh, or they could just be running Tectonic Hazard main deck. That's pretty good. Well, we have the Mog War Marshal. We got the Kuldotha. Deadly Dispute, though, and we don't have any untapped black sources in the deck, so that's probably going to waste. Also Vampire's Kiss, so they are attacking. Alright. Well, Kuldotha's pretty good, but also awkward. I guess it's not super awkward, because I can Clockwork and then Kuldotha here. Because if I had to Ichor Wellspring, it would be kind of rough. But yeah, I think we're doing this. I mean, they just had a Tectonic Hazard, so if they have another one, we might be cooked. But if not, we could probably just go for the rights next turn. And there's a Chromatic Star. So these Clockworks not really giving us anything great, but if we could just go for a rights next turn for 4, that's 20 damage on our board. And that's not bad. Kitchen Imp off a blood token. Okay. So they can hit for 4 here. To them, I guess we flipped up a Deadly Dispute. I was going to say, we just look like a weird mono red deck with like War Marshals, like a Goblin deck, but we did flip up a Deadly Dispute, so they know we're something different. I like the attack here, though, for us, potentially. They do have 1 mana up, though, so that could just be a Lightning Bolt or a Galvanic. Take out a guy means we wouldn't have lethal on them if we do rights here. Although Chromatic Star, actually, we can play Crack for the rights, so we're up to 5 cards. And that makes it so that these would each be 18. Or this would be 6 each. So actually, that would be lethal. Oh, they have a Swamp, though. That makes things worse, because they could discard like an Alms of the Vein, which can gain them life. Oh, but that would still kill them. They would need to have 2 removal spells here, or a way to gain more than 7 life. Actually, I think we might have them here. Bushwhacker's obviously not even close, and we're in too much danger of dying next turn. So yeah, we got to go for it. But let's give it a try. Attack with the team. This is when they have like Electric or a main deck or something. Cycle the Chromatic Star so we go up to 5 cards in hand. Rites of Initiation. Pitch the hand. We have a bunch of 6-power creatures. They got to kill 2 of them. Killing just 1 leaves them at Xaxes. Unless they can kill 1 and also gain a little bit of life. But with 2 mana, that seems hard. No Cast into the Fire main deck is my goal. My hope. They have the Galvanic for 1 of them. And then they take 18. Whew! Just barely got there. That was tough. But we're able to make it. They are running the artifact lands, so we definitely taking Gorilla Shaman for lands and blood tokens. Cast into the Fire is decent versus Sneaky Snacker and stuff like that. Rotten Reunion's good against Sneaky Snacker. Cast into the Fire can hit lands as well. So there's a lot to bring in, 7 cards, but I think we need the Rites of Initiation because the goal is to go more wide and fast. Maybe we cut out Galvanic Blasts, because like we're not really racing them. It's good for Kitchen Imps, I guess. If we're up against like 1 Kitchen Imp, we gotta kill. I mean, Chromatic Star did just win us the game there, because we needed the card for 1 mana off of this Clockwork, but as I've been saying, I think we can cut them. And I mean, this is not a match we want to go very late, actually, so maybe we actually just cut some of the card draw, kind of do this again, cut 3 Fanaticals. Wellspring and a Chromatic Star. This might be a little too heavy on the sideboard, but I think we're going to give it a try. If we take out even one of their lands, those 4 cards are pretty good. Rotten Reunion against a Sneaky Stacker is really good. I think we're keeping this one. We have a way to get rid of a land. Kuldotha, we are missing an artifact, and I know we're taking out a bunch of artifacts for these, for Kuldothas and stuff, so maybe I shouldn't be taking them out quite as quickly here. They're going to mulligan to 6. Start with a Great Furnace. We can get rid of that if we want to. Deadly Dispute. Let's play a bridge and hope they did not bring in a Cast into the Fire of their own to get rid of our bridge. Vault of Whispers and a pass, it looks like. Deadly Dispute. They probably got to have like a end step Demand Answers or something, right? I think we're just taking out a land of theirs. Red is more important, I believe, because it's all their discard spells. Obviously, we'd prefer this for a indestructible land, and we prefer to Gorilla Shaman these, but if we don't draw a Gorilla Shaman, that's we might not be able to blow them up. They have a Carnarium, so they still have the red, but hey, we got rid of their red land for that turn. Set them back for sure. Pick up their vault. We get a Rites of Initiation. Okay, well that's tough, because I could Kuldotha now and try to rights next turn, but if we Kuldotha now, we also are losing our black source, which we have 3 Deadly Dispute effects in hand. I could also Kuldotha the Dross Forge, floating a black, and then Deadly Dispute a goblin immediately to draw 2 and get a treasure, so we're not fully out of Deadly Disputes. I don't hate that. If we don't do that, we kind of have nothing going for us. So, yeah. It's kind of awkward, but I think we're doing this. And hoping to draw to another black land. Here's 2 if not that. Or a Bushwhacker. Obviously, we also need to not get Tectonic Hazarded. Not Reformation, that's a different card. But whatever. We'll see what happens here. They tap for 3. Grab the prize with an Alms of the Vein. Okay. Our guys live is the good news. So we get to hit in for 2. Jagged Barrens, that's a black source. I mean, I could Rights for 5 or 6, but I don't think that's going to work. I think we're just attacking here. If they go for like a Tectonic Hazard here, I actually get to Deadly Dispute and Fanatical both of these guys, so I almost don't hate them doing that. Hardcast a Kitchen Imp. Love to see that, especially because we get to just Galvanic Blast it. Oh, they leave it back. Well, we're still blasting it because we're going to need it out of the way one way or the other. Gorilla Shaman's pretty good. We also know they have a Vault of Whispers in hand, but I think we just eat this while we can, and then when they try to kill the Gorilla Shaman, we will have our Deadly Disputes. Looks like they're just don't have any outlets to discard, and so they're already in a rough spot. Might as well pinch their mana more. Yep, they got to kill the Gorilla Shaman. Let's Deadly Dispute it. Bushwhacker's pretty good. Jagged Barrens. Okay, we still know they have a Vault of Whispers in hand. And just a black mana up means probably no interaction. Mog War Marshal. I think that might be lethal here, because we get this. We get to Bushwhack, and then we can Rights for 3 with 5 guys is 15 more damage, so that's definitely got to be lethal. They had a bad draw, it looks like, but we're going to put them to -7 and get a nice 4-1 with the deck. All right, this was my first league with this version of the deck. Obviously, I've played the Jund version before. It feels pretty good. Honestly, I think it probably is better than the Jund version. I like the Colony Gardens and Chrysalises that the other one offers. Especially against breath weapons and things like that. But the deck's already pretty resilient to 1 or 2 board wipes. You saw in that Broodscale game where we ended up hitting for 35. They'd already used a Sandstorm on, I think, 4 of our guys and a breath weapon on 3 of our guys, and we still hit them with 7 creatures there. And it feels pretty good. I think I'm going to mess around with taking these Chromatic Stars out, because I didn't really ever need the black mana from them. So I think we have some room for putting something else in there that's a little bit more utility. Like I said, Nile Spellbombs, you could go for we could do Synthesizers, of course. Could be a little awkward with our draw package and our Rites of Initiation. Or you could even just do the Implement of Combustion that Red used to play. I don't know. I'll probably look around a little bit. Probably another 1-mana artifact so that you can sack it to a Kuldotha, and also a 1-mana artifact that draws you a card. So that limits your scope a little bit. You only have a few options for it. But I think there's some more potential for that to be something else. Overall, though, I think the deck's great. Shout out once again to Totem Silence for improving, I would say, on the list that I previously had. I don't know if they actually looked at my list or anything. But in any case, this deck's really sweet. Probably going to play it more and eventually try to get that 5-0 with this type of Rites of Initiation, Deadly Dispute token deck. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.